is to present the gospel of Jesus Christ in the native tongue.
Okay.
We Americans think that we can just tell them the gospel in English and they're going to understand it. Their heart does not speak English, period.
You say their heart does not speak English. Now you're getting kind of technical. I think that's an interesting distinction you just made. Their heart does not speak English.
Yes.
So you're saying if someone hears the message of the gospel in their second language, there's a less likelihood that it'll connect with them at a soul level.
Absolutely.
So in order to really connect with the scripture, with the gospel, with the message of God, we got to reach them in their first language.
Yes.
Okay. Is that a hard and fast truth, or is that just an observation?
No, that's almost 100%.
Interesting. I've never heard that before. Hello and welcome to At the Redline Podcast. My name's Alec Gonzales with Coaching the Redline. I do coaching and spiritual direction for pastors. This is my friend Marvin Arnott. Marvin's got a pretty interesting story and does some really cool work for the kingdom.
My mother was a Christian, but my father was not. And we were raised on a farm with no electricity, no running water. Had to carry the water from a well by hand.
How far was the well?
Oh, that particular well was only about 100 yards from the house.
Well, that's not bad.
But when that ran dry, we had to go find water in the spring.
It would run dry, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
Once in a while.
So tell me the story of how you came to Christ.
When I was 23.
Okay. You got a story to tell?
My eldest brother passed away in 46. Second eldest brother passed away in 56. And that left me, the eldest of 5 boys. And I was getting on to 66. In 1962, I thought, am I next?
In 1962, you were 66?
No, in 1962, I was looking forward to 1966. Because am I next? I was the eldest of 5 boys. The other 2 eldest had passed away.
Okay.
And so I decided, well, I better find out where I'm going into eternity.
Okay.
Because I had some Christian teaching in church. But then I received a postcard from a lady who I was interested in. And it said, for me to live is Christ. To die is gain. And I decided that's what I want. I need something worth dying for. So it's worth living for. And so I began to search. I got me a Bible. That was the first time I bought a Bible to make sure that that was a reference in Scripture. And I began to read the Word, and I began to cry, seeing how bad my life was, because I was 23, running around drinking and carousing around. And so I went to California, and just 3 weeks later, the Lord gave me the gospel in clear tone, and I received Christ at the side of my bed and began to walk with him.
Nice. Clear tone. That's an interesting phrase. I never heard that, in clear tone. Can you describe that a little?
One of the things about the gospel is that many of us make it vague as to what it means to walk with Jesus Christ.
That's true.
And today, we don't hear it clear. Either you receive Jesus Christ as your Lord, or you go to hell. And when I was taught that, I realized that I was going to hell. And therefore, I needed Jesus Christ.
I was talking to a lady that was there the night that I got saved, and I was telling her, sort of recounting what happened, and it was that exact same thing. I'd heard a message. The message said you go to hell if you don't receive Christ. I was sitting there looking at my feet, thinking, holy crap, I'm going to hell. Like it just made it rang true in my soul. Like this is really true. I'm gonna be the one that's looking up, going, I'm in hell.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, all you got to do is raise your hand and receive Jesus. And so up my hand went, and
awesome.
Yeah, and I've been living for Jesus ever since. So,
well, that's what happened to me.
Nice.
It was a CNMA church in Gardena, California.
Yeah.
And he presented the gospel. I listened. I went home, got on my knees beside my bed, and received Christ.
In clear tone. I like that.
Before I was saved, I went into the Army and did mechanic work for in Alaska for weasels. Some of you old timers might know about weasels. They're a small track vehicle in snow. They use them in snow.
Well, thank you for your service. What era military were you in? Vietnam era?
Post-Korea, before Vietnam.
Okay, so you avoided all kind of conflict. That's good.
Yeah, it's global recordings. And the purpose of global recordings is to present the gospel of Jesus Christ in the native tongue.
Okay.
We Americans think that we can just tell them the gospel in English and they're going to understand it. Their heart does not speak English, period.
You say their heart does not speak English. Now you're getting kind of technical. I think that's an interesting distinction you just made. Their heart does not speak English.
Yes.
So you're saying if someone hears the message of the gospel in their second language, there's a less likelihood that it'll connect with them at a soul level.
Absolutely.
So in order to really connect with the scripture, with the gospel, with the message of God, we got to reach them in their first language.
Yes.
Okay. Is that a hard and fast truth, or is that just an observation?
No, that's almost 100%.
Interesting. I've never heard that before. Okay. As we were kind of talking about this ministry, global recordings, I realized that it's mainly an app. It's mostly, maybe largely, an app that you can put on your phone and use. So
yes.
Anybody anywhere around the world can get the app.
I was in the Philippines in July of last year, and I shared the gospel in Manobo, and they were ready and willing to understand it.
Nice. So the app, how does someone find the app?
Well, the app is very simple. It's number 5 fish.
So if you go to the App Store and you type in 5, the digit 5 fish, it'll come up.
It should come up.
Okay, and then you can download the app, and then you can discover the scripture or the stories of God in all different languages.
Just 6,500.
Well, okay, only 6,500. I'm
only
sure it's going up. Okay.
Yeah.
So the beauty that I'm thinking about is that I have friends all across the world. I mean, not as many as maybe you, but I do. And this is something that I could open the app and find something to them and share it so that they could see it by text or email.
Oh, wow. However. Please do.
Okay. You said before that most American Christians think that the gospel is heard in English, in our language.
Yes.
But everybody needs to receive it in their own language. Can you talk more about that?
Okay. Our assumption is that if I tell somebody the gospel in English and they speak a little bit of English and they just come over from their personal country, we think that our responsibility is finished because we told them the gospel in English. Mm-hmm. The problem is their heart didn't hear that because their heart speaks another language. I told a Kiliwa man in Baja, California, that scripture, and he looked at me with total blank in his eyes, and he said, "Remember, Spanish is my second language also." He could not understand one tiny bit of truth, even in the trade language that he normally used. because his heart spoke Kiliwa.
Hmm.
So we needed to preach the gospel in Kiliwa. So we went to him and his tribe and recorded his language and handed it back to them.
Nice.
Lady, her name was Sadie Gardner. She's passed on now. And she brought me into her home, treated me as her son, and gave me the truth through the scriptures to walk a holy life. And as I walked according to the scriptures and taught me to believe the scriptures and not to turn from them. Mm-hmm. And I began to do that. And therefore, God has led me almost around the world. The key to the gospel is that Jesus Christ is the only way to heaven. There is no other way. And we try to use our philosophies, our ideas that are all human intent. The scripture says that man is intentionally evil, and we intend to do evil deliberately. And God says, don't. And we say, we're going to do it anyway. The gospel of Jesus Christ says, don't. Follow me. If you want to get to heaven, you're going to have to follow the resurrected Christ. The joy of knowing him and worshiping him. I walk with Jesus Christ, and I've been very blessed lately to be part of Calvary Spokane and listening to the man Ken Ortiz preach the clear gospel week after week. It's been a real blessing to me. Daniel Ubaldo has talk time the first Friday of every month during school year, and we gather international students from around the world, sometimes as many as 15 to 20 different languages and ethnic origins, and they share the gospel in English, of course, because our desire is to teach the internationals English and also to share the gospel in their native tongue if we can. Dan has been a missionary with International Students Incorporated for 17 years, and he's just blesses my soul every time I meet him.
What are you looking forward to? Is
Jesus' return.
Good. Any parting thoughts?
Walk with Jesus Christ. He does not call us to sit on our lees and do nothing. He expects us to share the gospel anywhere we go without fear or favor.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on my podcast.
You're welcome.